Nick Adams, born Nicholas Aloysius Adamshock, came into this world on July 10, 1931, in Nanticoke, Pennsylvania. His parents, Peter Adamshock and Catherine Kutz, were hardworking Ukrainian immigrants who faced tough times during the Great Depression. Their family struggled financially, and when Nick was a young boy, they made the move to Jersey City, New Jersey, in search of a better life. Growing up, Nick was a dreamer, and despite the challenges of his upbringing, he aspired for something greater. He didn't let his humble roots define him. Instead, he used them as a driving force to chase his ambitions. From an early age, Nick was fascinated by the idea of being in the spotlight. Stories suggest that he would often imagine himself as a Hollywood star, far removed from the hardships of his working-class surroundings. This determination set him on a path to greatness, even when it felt unreachable. After graduating from high school, Nick decided to move to New York City, where he pursued acting. He started working small jobs to make ends meet, all the while dreaming of his big break. In the early years, he worked as a soda jerk and even as a delivery boy, but his unwavering spirit stood out. Nick's journey to Hollywood wasn't a smooth one, but it was one fueled by grit, charisma, and ambition. An interesting turn in his life happened when he crossed paths with James Dean. Yes, the James Dean. The two struck up a friendship, and Nick found himself networking with some of the biggest names in Hollywood. The budding actor used these relationships to his advantage, gradually securing small roles in films and television. Fun fact, many people believed Nick intentionally cultivated relationships with Hollywood royalty to boost his career, a bold but strategic move. By the mid-1950s, Nick began gaining momentum. He became known for his distinct all-American good looks, which consisted of blonde hair, striking blue eyes, and a wiry frame standing at about 5 feet 9 inches tall. Nick weighed around 155 pounds and carried himself with a confident air that made him stand out in auditions. His big break came in the 1955 classic Rebel Without a Cause, where he played a small but memorable role alongside James Dean. It was this performance that catapulted him into the public eye. Suddenly, Nick wasn't just another name in Hollywood, he was a rising star. During the height of his career, Nick starred in numerous films and TV shows, showcasing a wide range of talent. He played the lead in films like Young Dillinger in 1965 and Die Monster Die in 1965, proving he could hold his own as a leading man. One of his most well-known roles, however, was portraying Johnny Yuma in the television series The Rebel, which ran from 1959 to 1961. This role solidified Nick as a cultural icon of his time, with his on-screen portrayals often reflecting the rebellious spirit of youth in the post-war era. Beyond Hollywood, Nick had a private life that was equally fascinating. In 1959, he married Carol Nugent, an actress. Together, they had 2 children, Allison and Jeb, both of whom stayed out of the public eye for the most part. Nick prioritized his family when he wasn't on set, but his marriage to Carol was reportedly a turbulent one, riddled with ups and downs in true Hollywood fashion. Behind the cameras, Nick had a reputation for being both ambitious and deeply insecure. He often felt overshadowed by his contemporaries, which contributed to his relentless pursuit of stardom. Despite the shine and glamour, those who knew him well described Nick as a sensitive and complex man with a deep desire to be seen and remembered. But Nick Adams wasn't just a performer, he was also an advocate. He was passionate about helping young, struggling actors find their footing in the competitive world of Hollywood. He believed in paving the way for others and often took newcomers under his wing. He had a strong sense of responsibility toward those who shared his dreams but lacked the opportunities he'd been fortunate to secure. However, Nick's life wasn't without its darker chapters. Despite his success, he found himself struggling with personal demons, particularly later in his career. As Hollywood evolved into the 1960s, roles became harder to come by, and Nick's once promising career began to wane. He was reportedly deeply affected by this downturn, and it led to financial difficulties and emotional struggles. Sadly, Nick Adams passed away on February 7, 1968, at just 36 years old. His death was sudden, mysterious, and remains a topic of controversy to this day. Nick was found dead in his Los Angeles home, and the cause of death was ruled as an overdose of medication. While officially considered accidental, conspiracy theories and unanswered questions still surround his death. Was it truly accidental, or was it intentional? No one knows for sure. What remains clear is that Nick's passing marked the loss of a talented and ambitious individual who had so much more to offer. While his career achievements were substantial, there were also lesser-known aspects about Nick Adams that painted a fuller picture of the man. For instance, Nick was devoted to health and fitness and often spoke about the importance of staying active. He reportedly adhered to a strict diet and exercise regimen long before it was trendy in Hollywood. His love for fitness actually inspired some of his peers. Another untold truth about Nick is that he was a devout Catholic, cherishing his faith even as he navigated the highs and lows of stardom. Religiously driven, but never preachy, Nick valued his Ukrainian heritage and maintained strong ties to his roots throughout his life. Even though he was often seen as a heartthrob, many wondered about his romantic life beyond his marriage to Carol Nugent. While there were rumors of flings and close friendships with Hollywood's elite, Nick preferred to keep many aspects of his personal relationships private. At the time of his passing, Nick Adams had a net worth estimated at around $500,000, a modest sum by Hollywood standards, but reflective of his hard work in the industry. His legacy was one of determination and grit, the story of a man who made it big despite the odds stacked against him. Even his critics couldn't deny that Nick Adams left a mark on Hollywood that far outweighed the recognition he received in his lifetime. In the end, Nick Adams was more than just an actor. He was a dreamer, a fighter, and a man who yearned to be remembered. With his blonde hair, blue eyes, and enigmatic charm, he captured the essence of a bygone era in Hollywood. To this day, he is remembered as a symbol of rebellion, resilience, and the undying pursuit of greatness.